Hey friends, this is Kristen here with a new episode of Free Spirit Beading, Softlex Company. And today we're gonna make a pair of wire wrapped earrings. Let me just change my view here for a second. There we go. So this week we've been celebrating Sarah Ayler's birthday over at softlexcompany.com, doing a free gift for you with your order to celebrate her birthday. So for every $35 that you spend, let me say that again. For $35 or more that you spend over at softlexcompany.com, you receive this beautiful bundle, pretty in pink fire polish. So I'll show you that a little bit closer. There we go. When we look down to our table. So it's a beautiful trio of colors. We introduced that bundle last week. You can purchase it directly if you just want to buy it. But if you get your order to $35 or more for a retail order, then you will get the bundle for free. We also introduced the Pretty in Pink trio. This is the larger spools, but you get the 3-pack of 10-foot spools in the Pretty in Pink trio. So you can check out both the bundle of beads and the trios over at softlexcompany.com. And that offer is good until tomorrow, May 24th. Spend $35, get the fire polish bundle for free. And I'm going to show you guys a few other things, but I just want to make sure before I move forward that I share all of the wonderful ways that you can follow Softlex Company. You could use the hashtag SoftFlexWire when you're on any of your social media sites, and that way we can see some of the things you're posting. Join us in the Softlex VIB Studio Facebook group. Join us on Instagram at Softlex Company. We're also on TikTok now at SoftFlexWire. And then, of course, you can find us at Softlex Company's YouTube channel, Pinterest, and on Twitter. I love that little graphic that Damien made for us. Thank you, Damien. That makes it really easy to show and share all the wonderful places you can find Softlex Company. Happy Marvelous Monday, Marisol. I love that. Marvelous Monday. What a great attitude to have on the Monday, right? Hi, Debbie. Hey, Gail. Hi, Penny and Carolyn. Kathleen and Gloria's here. Great to see everyone. So let me see what else I got at my table here. I'm wearing the necklace we made last week. I finished it and then I added some really fun little dangles, and I shared a reel on the Softlex Company Instagram feed on how to make the little dangles to add onto there. Really quick 60-second tutorial because they're all 60 seconds over there. So you gotta make them fast. But I learned that technique from our friend Kay over at Star Beads, and thought it was a really fun way to add a dangle to the necklace. I also finally got my Love is Love items. I've got my bead mix, just came in the mail to me this week. So I'm excited to get to play with that. I got my Love is Love bead strand, and I'll say that the bead mix is sold out as of now. The bead strand, we have 7 of these beauties left, and this is a really fun strand, isn't it? You get all the different colors of the rainbow. You can wear them all together, or you can pull them apart and make a few different designs with each of the colored items. And then we've got the Love is Love design kit. We still have a few left. I think we're 80% sold out as of today. Sarah's going to be opening that kit on Wednesday on the Softflex Company Facebook page and YouTube channel. And that is Wednesday, what? 25th. Wednesday, May 25th at 3 p.m. Pacific time. So be sure to catch that. It's going to be a beautiful, colorful, fantastic kit opening. I can't wait for that. And what else do we have going on? Oh, I'm going on vacation. So this is my last video for a couple of weeks. I won't be back. I'll be missing 2 weeks in a row. So the next 2 Mondays after this, I won't be here. And then I come back, I think it is June 13th. Oh my gosh, that feels like so long from now. I'm really ready for vacation. My oldest kid is graduating high school. My parents are coming into town to stay with us. A good friend is coming to stay with us. And we're also going to be taking a little road trip to California. So looking forward to all of that fun coming up for me. Oh, thank you so much. Penny says, remember to like and share. Yes. Thank you. That is the easiest way to support us and support our channel and all of the content that we put out is to like and to share. So we really appreciate that. Thank you, Penny, for mentioning that to everybody. Tasha loves it all. Yes. So many beautiful rainbow-licious things in the works. Lots and lots of love. Janine is looking for some inspiration today. Awesome. All right, well, let me move over and switch my view here so we could take a closer look at our Pretty in Pink Fire Polish bundle. These 3 colors we bundled up for this special promotion, but like I said, you can also buy the 3-pack bundle directly if you wanted to. And you can also buy them individually because each of these strands is located in our 7mm fire polish product item, which has all of these colors in it. And you can actually buy this as a bundle too. I think there's 18 strands in total. I remember if it was 17 or 18, and they are about $50 for the entire bundle to get all of the colors. Aren't they lovely? I just love the range of colors in here too. You got some really nice rich tones for coming into fall, but then you also have a lot of really fun, bright colors that are great for summer. So it's a really nice bundle. That's the entire thing. And then we're going to work with these 3. So if you spend $35 or more today or tomorrow, you will get this little bundle for free to help celebrate Sarah's birthday. So I got this chain here. We've got these antique silver chain in. Just a few left. I think for this particular one, I think we've got 2 12-inch, 2 12-inch lengths left. We're selling them in 12-inch lengths. And if you were to buy more than one, you would get it all in one long length. I'm working with today 1 12-inch length. And then the circle, I don't remember what we call it, but large and small circular chain. I went ahead and cut free 2 of the large circles. They are soldered, so you do have to cut them. I used a pair of my flush cutters and I snipped it, and it's pretty thick. So I did go all kind of far back on my cutters and I snipped it in one direction, and then I flipped it and snipped it into the other direction. And that is just so that I have a nice clean cut, because the flush cutter will make one flush cut on one side and then sort of an angled cut on the other. And now this is has an opening, and I can use this as a connector or a jump ring of sorts in another design, or I can use them to make a smaller version of what I'm going to make with the larger one. So I cut those free and got these two larger circles here. Let me see how big they are. They are about 35 millimeters, or just under 1.5 inches. And I thought that these would make really fun hoop earrings. So that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to use some of our Softflex craft wire. We've got this color, which is called pewter, and I've got the 22 gauge. And if you look at the pewter, it's kind of like an antique silver color. So it matches this particular chain really well. We have two other, I think we sold out of two of the shapes, and we've got just, like I said, two 12-inch lengths of the circle one left. We also still have this one, which is the oval. And you'll see that still, that has like that pewtery color to it as well. And we also have some of this one, which is a smaller chain. So a little more of a traditional chain on this one. So those are the three styles that we have left. I'm going to cut this free. And I'm just thinking about wrapping in the center here and doing the three colors. I don't know if I want to make it like a shape or straight across. Let's cut. And these are 7 millimeter fire polish, approximately. We say approximately because I think a couple of the strands might be slightly different, but about 7 millimeters. So I'm just going to take a few off of each strand to play with. Who out there is a fan of fire polish beads? So these are check glass, and this one has a lovely silver side. So it's got like a little flash of silver on one side. I think this is the lavender color. They are a really fun bead to have in your stash. They go with so many other things, and they have lovely colors, and I always love the sparkle. Yeah, Debbie says love them. They're sort of one of those beads, kind of like a seed bead or something that you just should have around because they work in so many different projects. So I'm going to cut myself some. Oh, this is actually a different diameter. Let me close that one up. That's not what I want. I want this one. I'm going to cut myself some 22 gauge of the silver-plated pewter Softflex craft wire. We have a craft wire deal going on right now too. It's our quantity discount. We have a quantity discount that we do with craft wire and beading wire, where if you buy 8 or more spools, you'll get 20% off of all of them. And it's kind of one of those deals that comes and goes depending on what is going on with our website and what other specials we have running. So that's currently running you can do that too. So you can grab 8 spools of the craft wire. You can mix and match all of the colors and the gauges. The only thing that's not included is anything on closeout or outlet, but anything that is in the craft wire category, you can put 8 of those in your cart and you will see a 20% off discount. And those kind of come and go. We're trying to get better about mentioning them in our email newsletter when it's going on. So if you get our email newsletters, just pay attention at the bottom when we have our 8 plus quantity spool discount deal, it'll be there. So I'm going to cut off. Let me see how much I cut. I didn't measure. I just snipped 6 inches. I'm going to cut this and I'm just going to wrap it on one of the sides of the circle here. And I could do like an ombre where I do 3, 4, 4, and 4. Just sort of put that in there. And I might even have to change the quantity. So that could be one option. Just kind of go straight across with it. Oh yeah, that would fit in there. And then the other thing I was thinking would be to create a little bit of a rainbow shape. Kelly is asking, are they protected from tarnish? The craft wire, yes. We have, the only thing that's not protected from tarnish is the bare copper, because that does not have the enamel sealant on it. But all of the other ones are protected from tarnishing. So they have a copper core, and then they are colored on top, either with a color or with a plating, like a silver plated pewter is. And then it has the enamel to protect it. Hi, Sue. Hi, Rosalinda. Okay, so you're not seeing the rainbow shape as much when it's not on the wire. But I was thinking of either going straight across or doing more of a curve and going with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 beads, then 4 beads, then 3 beads in the color. What do we think? What do we want to try today? Straight across or curved? Hey, Janelda. Hi, Monica. Hi, Kelly. Oh, you like my hair this way? This is my hair when I'm like, didn't have time to do anything with it. I just throw it up in a bun, which is probably 90% of the time. Monica says, give it curved. All right. Both of them look fabulous, Kelly says. Sue says curved as well. I was running because my kids were out of school a little bit earlier than usual today. So I was not sure if we've got 2 for curved, 2 for straight. Kelly likes both of them. Who's going to be our tiebreaker? So I'm just going to start by positioning my wire across the shape, and I'm just going to have this smaller little edge here and start wrapping this part. Lisa says curved. Rosalinda said straight. Oh, you guys are straight, curved. Oh my goodness. I think we're still tied. I do think curved is kind of fun when you have different shapes of your beads. When your beads get a little smaller too. Janelle just says do one of each. Debbie says curved. Gail says straight. And then Kelly says she'll break it curved. All right, so I'll start with the curved. Maybe we'll do one of each. Since you guys are just neck and neck of it. So I'm stringing on 5 for the curved. And figure out which direction I want to go. Let's see. And then I'm just going to bend it. Tasha's no help. She likes both. So I'm just going to bend it down and create my first curve. And this could go either way, really. You could go up, you could go down. Ooh. And then I'm just going to wrap it around my shape. I'm going to do 3 times because that's what I did on the other side. Actually, take one off so that it's even. I'll cut it on the other end. And then you could just squish your wire together and also tuck it in to close it. I'm getting very comfortable with my bent nose pliers. For those of you that don't know, they're kind of new to me, and I'm enjoying getting to know them. So I still have a bit left here. I'm just going to straighten it out. Let's see if I have enough to wrap around. I think so. Maybe the smaller piece is going to make me a little clumsy. So I'm going to cut a bigger piece. Hey, Sherry, thanks for joining us. Better late than never. I thought I was going to be a little bit late today, but I ended up making it here on time. So get that first one wrapped around 2 and 3. And then I'm just going to trim off this little tail. And then string on my next bead. So I'm going to go to the darker pink next. And I'm going to do 4 of them instead of 5. And I'm just going to scoot that. See when it's on there, since I just scooted it right up to the other beads. And let's see, I don't know, maybe I'll need 5. Maybe I need 5 again. I thought it was going to give me, I thought I was going to need less, but it actually looks like I need the same amount again. So before I put this next one on, I'm just going to make sure that I am happy with the placement. And I might even scooch this one a little bit. I'm curious how many I'm going to be able to get in that last section. Okay, that feels better. I'm going to thread it through and then use my pliers to pull it a little tighter. Okay, 2 curved lines done. Janelda, I never did either because I just didn't even own them. But since they're in my stash now, I'm trying to get used to them. So my initial idea was to put it on the bottom, but it looks like I don't have a lot of space, and I wonder if I should just put these on the top. This is when it's fun to have different sizes because then you can kind of scoot in a smaller sized bead below. But I think what I'll do is probably just pop it up top instead. Yeah, that Vicky's saying scooch those down and put it in the top. That's what I think too. I tried to start from the top one and go down, but you know, sometimes you just gotta go with where the design goes. Yeah, it's nice, the curve. I figured it would be a helpful tool. It just wasn't something I ever had, and I just use, regular chain nose most of the time. But the curve is nice. I don't know if I've been watching other people, when they do their videos, how they hold their plier and what makes sense. But it does get you into those little areas that might be a little more difficult with just the chain nose plier. This is 22 gauge craft wire, so it's pretty easy to manipulate just with your hands. I just like to come in with the pliers and help me pull it a little tighter or scrunch the wires together. All right, let's see how many beads fit up here. looks like 4. Vicky says she uses the bent one all the time. And Kathy says the curve is nice for opening and closing jump rings. Yes, I do see people using bent nose pliers for jump rings all the time. I did just get all new tools, actually. I didn't realize I had been using these, which were a Softflex tool from a long time ago, and they had these little itty bitty handles. And then I got this one, and I was like, why is this one so much bigger than all my other tools? And it turns out that this one is the same size of all the ones that are currently online, and they do have that nice longer handle. So all these years, I thought I was using the one we sold, and I was using an older pair. So I just got some of the nice bigger handled ones. So you can find these at softflexcompany.com. This is the round nose, this is the chain nose, and then this is the bent nose. That's what happens. I just had my anniversary. I've been working with Softflex for 19 years this year. So that's what happens when you work for a company for 19 years. I was like, I thought I had the red handle ones we were selling. And when I got the bent nose, I was like, whoa, this guy's so much bigger. And it turns out I was using some older stuff. Years and years ago. Rosalinda says the bent nose is also very helpful when you're wire wrapping to hold the loop while you're wire wrapping. Oh, good point. Because it can kind of get in there and be out of your way. Thanks. Kelly says, woohoo, happy anniversary to you. I know, it's so crazy. I have been working for Softflex almost as long as I lived with my family before I moved out. It's just like, it's wild that it's been that long. Janelda says, do you like the longer handle better? I think I do. I've been using this one, and I really do like the longer handle. I haven't used these as much yet because I just got them like a couple weeks ago when I brought it up to everyone that, oh, why is this so much bigger? But I think it's going to hit a better spot on my hand because the smaller ones do kind of hit right there. But there are some times where I'll probably still pick up the smaller ones just because I'm used to them, right? So I'm not as used to the larger handles yet. But I have a feeling that they, over time, are going to be more comfortable. Yes, it does mean that, Kelly. It means I'm very happy working with them. Yeah, it's pretty awesome to be happy working with somebody for so long. And I think the joy is that, we are a creative company, so things are always changing, and my job is always changing, and I wear a lot of different hats, so it keeps things interesting. And when you are a creative person, having that flexibility to change and grow and do different creative things in your job makes such a big difference. So I just added the ear wire right to the top, and I've got that first one done. So I ended up with 5, 5, and 4, which surprised me. I thought it was going to end up being 5, 4, and 3, but didn't quite work out that way. Vicky says a fourth color of a seed bead scallop around the edge would be pretty. Oh, that would be very pretty, scalloping it all the way down. You can even put a little drop or something on the bottom here if you wanted to. That could be really cute. Maybe the one that's at the top also bring down to the bottom and make a little drop. That could be sweet. Let's do the straight one and see how that one looks. And I put my earring on that way, but I guess you could even put your earring on this way too. So you have two different ways that you can work it. I don't know why I keep losing my craft wire. Like, where did I put that again? So let me see how many I have on this chain. This was a 12-inch chain. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 6 of the large rings on there. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the smaller rings. That could be fun too if you wanted to make a pendant and kind of do a larger ring and then attach the smaller ring. That could be a neat idea. And then I'm using nylon jaw pliers just to straighten my wire before I cut it off the spool. Just gives me a nice clean piece of wire to work with. Kelly loves that earring. Janella says it looks good. Debbie loves them too. Marisol, I love the stringing of the beads in a frame. So many possibilities. It's so true. You can crisscross. Janelda says you could do a mismatch, one going up and the other going down. Oh yeah, that could be so fun, where you've got one like that and then the other one doing the opposite direction. Super cute. So it's pretty much the same idea. And with it going straight across, I've even done it where it's one piece of wire instead of 3 separate pieces of wire. And you kind of just crisscross back. With the curved one, I think you got to do them all separate to get the shape correct. So on this one, maybe I should start with whatever I'm going to put in the center. And then this way I can do one up and one down. So I'll start with the darker kind of pinky purple in the center. Kelly says the mismatch is very popular right now. It is, having that one go one direction, one go the other direction. Okay, so to squeeze this one in there, really seems like I'd just be doing 4. Five just was a little bit too big going straight across. And I like to, let me pull this back out because I wrapped on the top of the beads. So if I can remember it, I like to do it in the same direction. So I'm going to go on the top again. This would be a good time to maybe throw in a few smaller beads too to fill up that space, but I'm just going to leave it and see what happens. It's sometimes okay to have them moving around. Yeah, Janelda says straight may work better with smaller beads. Yeah, or if you had a couple of other sizes that you wanted to put like a small bead in between, just to give you a little bit of filling in that space more. Penny says, Kristen, look into a pair of Betnos Superfine Microtip pliers. You can finish a wrap and tuck in fine wire singly instead of running your pliers across a bunch at a time and scratching. Yeah, I'm pretty good about not scratching my craft wire. I do find there's certain techniques where I end up scratching it a little bit more than others. And that's when I have tool magic that I put on my pliers. So I've got some tool magic on some older pliers right now, but my plan is to put the tool magic on those smaller red handle ones so that those will always be coated, and then they'll have a nice protection for when I'm working with craft wire. When I'm working with colors like pewter, I don't feel like I notice it as much, but when I'm working with darker colors, like say the vintage bronze color, which is one of my favorites, because it's a darker color on top of that craft wire, if you scratch it, you will see that scratch a little more easily. I keep meaning to show how you put the tool magic on the tools on like an Instagram reel or something. So one of these days I'll do that. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, this is what it does, is it creates a little nylon tip for you so that when you're using your colored wire, you have this nylon protection around your tools. So this is interesting because when I was doing the example and I was laying them out inside of the circle, it seemed like the straight was going to be easier and laying more nicely. But it actually turns out, I feel like the curved fit in there a little more nicely with these beads. So you just never know until you get going sometimes. I'm glad we're doing both. I'm going to try and scooch these together more. And do one more. Does anyone have any plans for Memorial Day weekend coming up? Have a little extra time. I hope some of you are getting nicer weather. I feel like recently, very recently, we were still talking about snow in a lot of parts of the country. I hope it's feeling a little more like summer. where you are. Definitely feels like summer where I am. So I'm looking forward to getting out of our heat. Sue plans on making jewelry. Perfect. What a great way to spend a little extra time. Janelda is staying home and off the roads. I know, I'm a little, my road trip is going to be quite pricey right now with everything so high, but it's okay. There's quite a few of us in a minivan, so it still worked out to be less than if we were to fly. Okay, Janine said she rented an old jail to do a paranormal investigation. Whoa. You win most interesting response. How cool. Where is that? So is it a known place that is haunted? We have a friend of ours here at Softlex who used to work here that is way into all of that. And I see him posting things of that nature. That sounds like fun, says Sue. Cabby says, we just had a weekend with the temps in the mid 80s, but now we're back to a more normal 72, and she's in New York. That sounds perfect. 72 sounds so lovely. In Kentucky, Franklin. So cool. That sounds like a lot of fun. Do you have a couple of friends that you do that with? Is that like have you done things like that often? Janine? Oh, there we go. Hey, it turned out pretty good. Once they're all in there, I feel like it kind of works. Even when you have a little bit of extra space on the sides. You can easily add in some little tiny extra beads if you wanted to, just put in some tiny little seed beads or something to fill in the space. But I think when you have it on, I think it actually will be just fine. Oh, that's interesting. Let me see what happens when I hold this one up. Oh, look at this. Look what happens. So this one jingles and gets a little funky. Look at how it turns to its side because it gets a little heavy. That's the straight one. And this one actually stayed pretty good, I think. This one stays pretty good, the curved one. So that's good to know. I think that you can combat that by filling in some more space. Like if I were to do another row, especially up at the top, so that it has less of an area to scoot around. Let's try it. The other option is to kind of put it this way. And now you've got it in between your wrapping so that it can only go a little bit in every direction. Let's see what happens if we fill in that space. And Penny is saying, or use a wire to wrap all 3 sections together in the center. Do you mean like through here? Like doing something like that? Would you go over the frame, or would you just be wrapping these to kind of center them? Snugly, oh, Penny says snugly enough to where the tension would keep them from rotating. So I'm thinking just those. Yeah, not with the frame, right? You're just saying just in the center. Let's see. Let's see. I probably need a bigger piece of wire. Oh yeah, we did talk about adding a bead to the bottom. That might work too, because that might give it a little bit of, well, I'm curious about this first. I'm going to try this first. I would have never have thought to do this. I'm not making it super neat, but I'm hoping that that's okay. Yeah, it will add a bit more detail too. Interesting. I'm just going to squish that. And just kind of see if there's any movement around here to fix. Penny says, I was told once I was into bead bondage because I'm so freaky about securing everything down. Yeah, that's interesting. All right, let's see what happens and if it helps to stabilize it. Well, it still scoots on this particular one. But you could even just add a little bit of wire. If you didn't want to do it in the center, you could add some wire around the ear wire and fasten it in place so that it doesn't scoot all the way around. That would probably work too. I know. I was so surprised. I didn't expect it to do that so dramatically with this one. So I think you either have to fill it in so that there's just a small little space, and this way, if it moves, it doesn't move too much, or we can you could wrap these little wraps around your ear wire, and that will hold it into place. But that was interesting to try, and I've never done anything where I wrapped kind of in between beads like that. So that was fun. I enjoyed that. So when I put it through this way, because you've got that wire on either side, it's not going anywhere. I'm going to see what happens now if I put a dangle. I'm just like experimenting now. Like, okay, what happens if we put a dangle? Will that help it to stay in one place? Sort of like a counterbalance. I'm just going to take my wire and bend it and make like this little head pin. Nothing fancy. It's just like a little flat head pin. And this one, maybe I'll do the pink. Yeah, Maria says, or centered the top, make a loop for the ear wire. You could do that too. I really like when my ear wire is just like flush on the earring. But with those kinds of movement issues, making an ear wire is a nice idea to try. Dangle's pretty cute on there. So I think that could be helpful. It's just so light in comparison to what's going on here. So I wonder if I were to take out some beads and just make it not so heavy, maybe that would help. Now this has become like a whole thing. And this is kind of how you work things out, right? And try and figure out what's going on. So if I took this out, and decided experimentation is the slice of life. Totally. So now I take all of that work, all of that lovely work, and poof, It's gone. But that's what you got to do sometimes. I was just thinking the other thing I could have did is changed it to a pendant so that it's attached to something in a way that makes it more stable. Just totally change your mind and do something else. Okay, so now do I want to leave the center one or the pink? I have to get this one out of here. This is like an unmaking. Like a very happy unbirthday. This is an unmaking design. It's harder to unwrap than it is to wrap to begin with. Okay. One more. I'm going to take one more off and just leave the pink and see what that does. My vacuum's going to be happy today. It's going to get all these little tiny bits and pieces. Sue says, in knitting, it would be frogging. Oh, what? Going backwards and taking it, undoing it? Janella says, you don't know if it'll work unless you try. Exactly. That is exactly it. Whew, I had those wrapped tightly. Okay, so now I feel like I have to find the center. Okay, it still is flopping around. So what I'm going to do lastly is create a little wire space up here for my ear wire. Let's just take that ear wire out so I'm not fighting with it. So let's recap. What other things could we have done? We could have filled up the space so that we didn't have as much room for movement. We could have created a little spot for our ear wire to connect to, like a little loop at the top for an ear wire to connect to. And this way it would stay in place. I think we could have even probably if my dangle was a little heavier because it's super light, that might have been another option. It's just working out the balance of things, which sometimes doesn't come as easy as other times. All right, that works. So I ended up I have to tuck in my wires, but I ended up just putting some wire wrapped all the way at the top, and that kind of caged in my ear wire, and that stopped it from moving around too much. So that was interesting. Thanks for working through it with me and coming up with some different ideas to try. I liked the bead bondage, and I could see how going back and forth between beads, that actually was an interesting way, even when you've got like a little extra space like I had on some of the beads. So putting that wire through the center adds a whole nother fun component. So pretty cool. So I ended up with a very simple design on this one. And then this one seems to be doing okay. Probably because it's heaviest at the bottom. It's keeping it kind of more in line. That was fun today, something different, and I got to play and kind of experiment with you guys. I also feel like it's fun. You can do so many different things with these because you can do little crisscross cages in there and just make it more asymmetrical and fun. And quickly before I go, I wanted to share with you guys what Janelda says curve is more better. Curves are always good, right? Keep it curvy. These were the two pendants we made last week with the epoxy clay, and this worked out so lovely to get that Rivoli in there, and it's nice and hard now. And now I can use these in a design. And same with this. I was a little nervous about these because they're sticking off the edge and I wasn't sure if they were really going to hold, but it seems like they're in there nicely. So two fun pendants that we made last time with the epoxy sculpt clay. I just wanted to show them to you since they were now all hard. I don't know what to do on the back. I mean, I guess as I get better at it or put it on a smoother surface, maybe it would get better. But I guess it doesn't really matter because that part's not seen anyway. Or it could be fun if you put this down on something that has a texture, and so that you've got like a little texture that forms in the back. Yeah, they came out really cute. I'm really happy with them. I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet, but I'll add them to my pendant pile for later. Oh, thank you. Yolanda says maybe add a dangle between the 4 and in between the 2. Yeah, that's a good idea. There's so many things you can do, right? That's what's so fun about jewelry making is there's so many different options. Penny says, thanks so much for hanging with us and just winging it. That's the most fun. Yeah, it was fun. It's cool to kind of see what works and where something might have had an issue. And depending on the frame you're using, if you were using like a square frame and you make those lines like that, you're not going to have any problem with the ear wire moving around. But because we were using a round one, we had a different problem to solve today. Janelle says those came out really well, talking about the pendants. You're welcome. Thank you for such a fun project today. Thanks. Enjoy my vacation. Oh, I can't wait. Tasha says, thank you for sharing your creative process. So happy to. I always enjoy being with you guys here on Monday, and I will be gone, like I said, for 2 weeks. So I'll be back on June 13th at 1 p.m. for a new episode of Free Spirit Beading. I cannot wait to go on vacation. I haven't seen my parents in a couple of years, and just going to have a really nice, fun family time and relaxing, and I'm going to go see the ocean, which I've missed. So looking forward to that. Go check out softluxcompany.com, and if you spend more than $35 today and tomorrow, which is it ends May 24th or while supplies last, you will get the bead bundle that I used today, the pretty in pink 3-strand fire polished beads to play with. So until next time, be sure to check out Sarah on Wednesday. She will be back with the design reveal and kit reveal and design challenge. Love is love. And lots of other fun things in store for you guys always, right? Happy beading. Thanks for being here with me today. And I'll see you in a couple weeks. Bye, everyone.